everyone, my name is Cynthia Thomas, but most people just call me Cindy. I've lived in Florida my whole life, but a few years ago, me and my husband actually moved to Japan. He was in the military, so we spent a few years over there, and recently he just separated, so we're back in our hometown of West Palm Beach. I primarily identify myself as a wife foremost, and then probably a Christian and a student second. I'm not working at the moment, although I have applied to becoming a sub for Palm Beach County School District recently. But before we moved back to Florida, I was a daycare teacher in Japan at the Air Force Base. And before then, I was an after-school counselor at Palm Beach County before we moved to Japan. But right now, I'm a full-time student. I'm taking 4 classes this summer, 5 in the fall, so that's been keeping me pretty busy. I do not have any experience in social work or child welfare, but working as an after-school counselor and as a daycare teacher, I was a mandated reporter for any potential child neglect or abuse cases, and unfortunately I did have to file a report for a child who me and a few of the other teachers thought were experiencing child neglect. And I also have done some volunteering. When I was in high school, I went to Honduras on a mission trip, and we built houses there and were able to kind of see what it was like in a third world country, and especially in this village where, they didn't even have housing or bathrooms or showers, so many things that, we take for granted. So I think that kind of relates to social work in some aspects. I think the most personal attribute that I bring to social work is my compassion for others. I guess being a Christian, you're kind of, it's drilled in your head to not be judgmental and to, everyone is accepted and loved. And I think that's one of the things that I hold very valuable in my life is I try to love everybody and not judge them. So I think that'll be my my strongest asset as a social worker. My goal upon graduation is to hopefully become a family or child therapist. I want to continue to get my master's degree and do therapy with, a wide range of population, but primarily with children and families. I'm not really worried too much about this class this semester, although this is my first online class through FAU. I've done so many online classes before, and so I'm kind of used to, keeping up with the discussions and whatnot, but, you never know with online classes. Some are a little more intense than others, and one thing that you really have to try to do is you have to keep up with your readings, or else, especially at this point in our schooling, this is stuff that we're going to be using in the field, so we really need to understand it. So I guess with this class, it's just going to be making sure that if I have any questions through my readings, to make sure I communicate that with you guys or the teacher. So one characteristic I think I value the most with other students, especially since being at FAU, I've noticed a lot of older, more experienced people in my classes who, work in different fields and are able to really share their experience with me. Because, I haven't been a social worker, I haven't worked in that field, so I really value their opinion and their experience on certain matters, because they've been there, they've done that, they've seen things, and so I really think that's really neat. And a childhood dream. When I was a child, I really wanted to be a teacher. And actually, after I got my associate degree from Palm Beach State, when I was in Japan, I was doing online classes towards teaching. But as I was taking these classes, I realized I'm like, I don't really want to do this. Like, I know I want to work with kids. I know I want to help people, but I don't know if I want to be a teacher. So, that's kind of what, when I moved back to Florida, I'm like trying to figure out what I want to do. And I'm like, I know I want to help people. I know I want to work with kids. And it kind of like led me towards being a social worker. And, you know, looking back at my life, I've seen different events that have happened that kind of led me to this. Like God was telling me, hey, maybe you should be doing this. And so I guess like what I'm learning now in social work, it really kind of lines up with what I want to do with my life. I really want to help others and give to others. And so it's really neat. At every class I take, you know, I realize, hey, this is what I want to do. So I think that's all. And I look forward to watching all of your videos and getting to know each of you guys throughout the semester. And good luck.